Hey YouTube, Root here. Today I am making, well, from leftovers and a cheat, beef pot pie pouches, or pockets, or whatever you like to call them, in the air fryer. Now I saved my fat in my pan, and I'm gonna turn it on low, very low, because I don't want the bits and pieces in it that I left in it to burn. Alright. Okay. So once that melts down and gets warm, I have probably about, I don't know, a third of a shallot, which I don't think I'll be using the whole thing, but we'll find out then. And hold on a second. Some broken up dehydrated mushrooms. Alright, and then I'll get everything else going. And I'm going to try to make a little extra, gravy, because this is what I'm going to make here. This is going to be the base. It's going to be a gravy. So, and I know I won't need all this either. But that way I have a little something extra in case A, we need a little bit more, or B, I can make a little bit more. So that's all I'm going to do for right now, and I'm going to stop this for a second so you don't have to sit here and watch me watch it. Alright, this isn't really hot, so, but I don't really care. It's still gonna do what it's needed to do. So I just want to break some of these up a little bit. Alright, and I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna start with about that much. Man, screw it. There's not one now. I might just go. Might get wasted if I don't use it now. Alright, I'm not gonna use any salt right now, because when I use my my stock, even though I'll be using I don't know the name of it, but it's like better than bouillon. It'll have plenty of salt in it, so I'm not too worried. So I'm just gonna let these, hey porker, she's laying on the floor. She's hoping for more food, even though she ate a lot earlier. Okay, so those are all coated in fat. That's what we want that. Okay, and now I'm going to put these in because they're going to absorb some fat. And plus, I didn't add any water or anything to them, so they're still dehydrated. I'm going to use a lot of the powder. That will absorb some of that fat, and I don't want to separate as much. I am going to use a roux, but it'll help it to hold on to some of that flavor and fat, just like a roux would. So I'm just going to spread this out, just like that, and hi porker. I'm gonna just let that go for a couple minutes till these get about translucent. Cook down just a little, maybe even a little bit of color. Alright, and then sorry, I got indigestion. I ate a bunch of these leftovers earlier. Well, actually they weren't leftovers at the time, but they're leftovers now. I'm just gonna let this go for a little bit, get a nice little brown flavor to it, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, this did dry up a little bit, so I just put a little bit of avocado oil in there. Now, I am going to put in some crushed garlic. Or I'm going to try it. Whoa. Come on. I don't need that much. Okay. You know what? I'm going to little bit of liquid too. It's in water, so I'm not really worried about it. Alright. And I am going to use a little anchovy paste. Like I said, between this and the beef stock, you know, it really shouldn't need any salt. So I'm going to put a plop of that in there. And I'm going to use some tomato paste. Same thing I always say. This stuff is nice. I think it's overpriced, but you waste a lot less. Right? And oops, let me get the lid on there. Shake this up a little bit. Chili pepper stirring paste. This brand is pretty good. I bought their lemongrass too. I want to get some more of it because that's pretty good. And I would use a little lemon in here too, but you know what? I don't have any. I don't think there's any citrus. Oh well, no, there's some powdered lemon. I shouldn't say that. All right, and then I want to get this nice and mixed up. I want to get the rawness, you know, cooked out of it too. It smells so good in here. I'm not a big provider of onions and I don't know if that's the word I want or not. I'm not a huge fan of onions, but I do like using grated onion or onion powder in my food. And really small pieces of shallot I like to use in the food too, because I don't like the big nasty chunks of it. Because same with mushrooms, because I think they're mushy. I don't like mushy foods. As far as you get used to it, at some point I'm going to lose my teeth. I'm going to be eating friggin' baby food. So I'm going to give that a minute or two to, like I said, cook out the rawness, get it to meld together, and then we'll get on to the next step. Alright, I have this cooked down a little bit. Right where I want it. It's how it smells so good right now. You see there's still residual oil in it. Okay, so I'm going to spread that out. Then just some regular old flour. This is, you've probably heard me say it a billion times, but it's just a lot easier doing it like this. I keep a little thing like this next to, in my spice rack. That way, for when I make a roux, instead of going to get the big, there we go. Everything's covered. There we go. And now, we are going to mix this in and get the rawness cooked out of the flour. Smells good. Of course, you could do this a billion ways. Well, maybe not a billion, but quite a few. I already have my stock ready. So like I said, it's like better than bouillon. So I want to make sure there's no chunks in there because I can still see little globs of flour. So I want to get that cooked out, mushed together with, like I said, the rawness cooked out. And so I microwave some hot water, put some of it in there, and then I mixed it up really good. And then I have a little extra just in case. So the minute this is done, I can put that into it. So I will be back in a minute or two as soon as the rawness cooked out of this. Okay, and now I am going to take my stock, put it in, and cook, or mix this up really good. Like I said, this is gonna be rich because everything gets in it, and I really should not have to worry about salt. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this up until all the lumps are gone and it's heated up. See, it's going through really good. So I will be back in a couple minutes. I know I've been burping up a storm in this video. I just took a big old swig of black tea and now it's coming back up. So I'll be right back. Alright, I got this all dissolved. I turned the heat up. I'm just stirring it, letting it go. I just give it a try. It's really good. So I'm just gonna let this thicken a little bit more, I actually think I'm going to put a little bit more water in there. Like I said, because I want to make extra. This is the stuff I was talking about. I never tried this brand, but we ran out and this is all I had. So I am going to use a little bit of cold filtered water. There we go. Now I'm going to let that cook. I'm going to try to stir it up without getting it everywhere, which, to be honest, I'm not very good at doing. So once this thickens up a little bit, I'll turn the camera back on. Alright, I have this where I want it. I'm going to shut the heat off. I'm going to let it sit there and let it cool down, and I'm going to get everything else ready while that's cooling down. Okay, my gravy's cooled down enough. I got my air fryer pan out, covered with foil, nice coat of oil. Alright, I just have this pizza pan here because this is what I'm going to work on. I got my leftover beef right here. I chopped it up a little smaller. My potatoes are right here. I left them just the way they are. Now I'm using one of the pre-bought shells. I let it heat the room temperature a little bit, so hopefully it won't fall apart and get all gross. Now I'm going to take carefully, unless they heat it up a little bit. There we go. Just did not want to stick. And you can use a little pie plate or something for this too, but I'm not going to this time. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is move this for a second. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of my gravy. You can have the thickness you want. I usually like it thicker than this, but you're going to see why I'm not making it thicker than that in a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of this on one side, just like you're making a calzone or maybe a stromboli or whatever, however you want to call it. Okay? Then I'm going to take a handful of the meat. Gravy is mostly just to make sure this stuff, it doesn't dry out. You know, it's nice big old plop in there. It's like hands are all greasy now. A little bit more. I guess I'm going to try to get all the meat because we don't want anything drying out. But we also don't want this too soggy either. You know, okay, and now we're going to take a bunch of potatoes. And I'm going to just make one layer, like so. These potatoes were salt, turmeric, and jalapeno powder. I think that's all that was in these. Sophia had some of these for her supper. Okay, just like that, okay? And now, you're literally just going to pull this over. And we're going to pinch it down with our finger, just like this. Then, just like people do with pies, or sometimes pizza and calzones and stuff, strombolis, whatever. Right, just so it doesn't fall apart on you. Alright. All around just like that. Alright. Fold this sides in. Get them nice. Look at that. Beautiful. It took how long? Hardly anything. Gravy took longer than anything. Well, actually, baking it might take longer, but it didn't take very long. I'm just going to take this. There we go. Nah, Sophia. Put this so it's just like that. Alright. And I'm going to cut in the middle. Just like that. Alright. Hold on. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick before I touch anything. I don't want grease on everything. Okay, here we go. see you in the kitchen from the air fryer. Alright. It's in my air fryer. Now, the directions on the side, okay? For one crust is 450 for 10 to 12 minutes. Now, we do not go up to 450. It goes up to 400. So, we are going to put this at 5 minutes. And then we're going to check it. So, and then we'll just keep adding minutes onto it. Sorry. I had like Sophia the other night, actually grabbed a piece of food off a plate. So I wanted to look me on the room, make sure she wasn't getting near anything. So we are going to keep checking this just because we don't want it to burn. We want it to be perfect. So I will be back in just a couple minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes and I need to grab a pot holder. I know it's nowhere near done. I did get a little break, but it's alright. So I'm gonna turn it around. Get in there. There we go. And put it in at 400. Whoops. For another 5 minutes. Actually, we're gonna go 7 minutes, so it looks like it's that far away. So I'll be back in 7 minutes. Okay. There we go. Oh, look at that. Check the bottom carefully so we don't. Oops. Right, we're gonna put it in. Well, actually, we're gonna turn it around. The bottom still needs a little bit more. I don't know. There we go. For at 400 for another 2 minutes. Actually, we're gonna go 3. Oh, that's good. A little piece that was stuck on there. Alright, I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Okay. There we go. Time is up. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, give me a second. I'm going to throw this on a plate so we can take a better glance at it. Alright. It did fall apart a little bit. That's no big deal. I knew it would because I put the gravy on them. I wasn't worried about that because I warmed up my gravy, put some more on top. Now, if you're not going to put gravy on it, don't put any, and when you're putting it together, don't put any on the bottom. Alright. This is great though. And there's a billion different ways you can do it. It would have been a lot easier if we would have just used a little pan or a ramekin or something like that, but I just wanted to do it like this because, man, that's good and it's fast. So, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Everybody take it easy, stay safe, stay healthy.